I think we are finally evolving as a Minecraft builder. As some of you guys know, I've been trying to really get better at building over these past couple of episodes since my return. And so far, I would say that I'm doing a pretty decent job, honestly. I mean, this is the area that we worked on in the last episode, and it's still probably my favorite part of this world right now. And if you watch the Shenanigan SMP, you would know that I'm starting to get better at building slightly larger scale projects. And today, those two realities are going to merge because today we are going to be making almost like a village entrance gate to this area that we've been working on, which yes, I did expand the village that way in the latest live stream. However, off camera, I actually dug out the area right here. So now we have the entranceway right here. And I love that it's kind of in a valleyway right here. I just absolutely love that. So the plan is going to be that we're going to be building two kind of pillars right there and one right there. And the idea behind this one is that I don't want it to be like mega base, like Hermitcraft level size, but I want it to be big enough where if you're in any of the areas over here, you can still see it like over the mountain. And then connecting those two is going to be a bridge. And the hard part about this, I think this is going to be the hardest part about the video in general, is the fact that it's going to be diagonal. You can see if we have one tower here and one tower probably right over there, that's not just a straight going one way or the other way, that's diagonally across a valleyway, which is going to be I don't know. I don't have much confidence in building bridges normally, and now we're doing it on a diagonal axis. I'm a little bit nervous, but also really excited. I feel like I am taking the next step in my Minecraft building career, and maybe taking the next big step to joining Hermitcraft. Yeah, no, that's never happening. Now, usually when I start off by building, I always tell you guys the blocks that I want to use, but this time I'm actually going to try something different and not tell you, except for one of the blocks, which is going to be calcite. Now, calcite has kind of been like the foundation of this town. You can see I used it for the walls right there. And I guess, spoiler alert, we will have some dye right there, but not as much as you might think. And we're going to start off by marking out where I want the towers to go. Okay, so the base is going to go somewhere probably here. Now, I'm going to start off by doing some calcite, and then I think later on we'll go in and change it. So I think we're going to do a 7x7 base. And here is the second base. So this is what it'll look like kind of from these two. Now, you can see that we have a massive dirt bridge. I say massive. We do have a dirt line going over. That's actually because I wanted it to be exactly like in line with each other. And that way, when we make the bridge, I don't accidentally make the mistake of, oops, it's actually not aligned by like 1 or 2 blocks. So that way the bridge can be perfect. All right, so I've built up the walls now 7 blocks high. So now it's a 7x7x7. And here's kind of what I'm thinking. Now I would like to actually go in by 1 at this point. And then from here, we're going to go up here. Now the idea behind it, I think, as you can see, is that we're kind of like, slowly going inwards a little bit. However, something else that I would like to do, and I'm just going to use calcite for now, I don't think we're going to actually make the bridge out of this, is actually where I would like the bridge to go. And then imagine a door right here. We're probably going to put like black concrete right here. That way it looks like it's like a void or like a dark room or something like that. And then the idea being that on the 7th layer here, because it's 7x7x7, that's where the bridge will go. And then the same will be said for over there. Although I need to quickly check to see if I actually made this the right height, because I think I didn't, maybe. Alrighty, I just checked using the Y levels, and nope, we are good. That is exactly where the bridge will go. It'll go this way, and then that's where also that tower is going to go up by 1. And now here is the second layer. Now this one actually goes up 9, so it's a 5x9 instead. And the reason for that is because I wanted to have the height there. Like before we get to the top, I wanted you to be able to see like one grand wall. Now it's actually at this point here that I'm going to introduce the first block that I want to try and use for this build, outside of the calcite, of course. And that block is going to be iron blocks. Now we do have a farm for it right over there, so we'll be able to, renewably get this. But the reason why I like the iron is because it's kind of like a nice, like it's kind of the same shade almost, but it just looks ever so like different. And it gives a slight industrial look. Now I'm kind of thinking we start off by placing it in the middle, in which I think that does help. The next block I want to use is actually the pale oak planks. Now I haven't really been using this much, and honestly, I kind of want to try using it. And one idea that I have is to put it in the corners right here. Now I don't know if this is going to work or if it's going to look a bit weird. Honestly, it doesn't look bad. Okay, it slightly looks weird, but that's just because we kind of have it like, I think it's just because it's there. Like we don't have anything else there yet. Like it's just the pale oak. Like I think we need to get some like stairs and slabs in maybe. See, I feel like that's almost too, is it too noticeable? I feel like that's just like such a difference that maybe we don't like it. Like maybe we do use the polished version. Actually, before we try the polished diorite, I want to quickly try the quartz block because I actually think that this could look kind of cool. So that's what we have. Honestly, yeah, I do feel like that's the best one because it kind of matches this, like the iron as well. Call me the king of undecision because I have decided to go back on it yet again and go to the polished diorite. I think the polished diorite and the calcite are just way better for me, and it's also easier as well to get than the quartz. Yeah, I think I like this one the most. Okay, so I started to do a little bit more detailing on the tower. I kind of got a little bit distracted, I won't lie, but this is what I have so far. Honestly, I do kind of like the idea of having this be like the way that it is. So basically what I did was I wrapped the entire thing around with the polished diorite. On the towers, I put the iron in the corner here instead to kind of get a little bit of variety, which we'll work on in a second. But really at the bottom, this is kind of what I was thinking of doing. So we kind of just have it going into stairs right here. And then I think I did like stairs like going here. I'm actually trying to remember how I built this. And I think I put the 2 iron blocks here. And then I know I put those there, and then I think that's actually it. Yeah, which is kind of something a little bit basic, but I think that it works. And then I kind of wanted to do something maybe with the iron in the middle, but I don't know if we necessarily need to or not. And also I think that the pale oak is better to be used kind of as like a block like in the middle like this, kind of like for stairs or fences in this case, rather than an actual building block. I know I'm just not a big fan of it, but I love the way it looks like this. What about something simple like this for the iron bar blocks in the back? We do 2 iron blocks here, the fence post in the middle, and then just a stair at the top. I honestly really do like that, yeah. And finally, with the rain gone, this is what it looks like so far. Honestly, it's not that bad. Oh, I accidentally forgot one side there. Yeah, the reason why I actually forgot is because I had to figure out how to do something over here because it's going to be a little bit different with the bridge here. And it might not be a perfect setup or a solution, but it's a fix and I do like it. And now I think it's time to work on the top part of the tower. Now, obviously, things have switched a little bit because now we have the iron blocks on the side. And no, I don't think I'm going to be doing diorite up here. I don't know, maybe we'll like skip the diorite in the middle and then bring it back for the top potentially. But one big thing that we are going to be doing is we're going to be making windows right here, giant big windows, and the windows we'll do in a second. And this is where the challenge comes in because now we went from having a 3 by whatever, I think a 3 by 9 to now this, and it's going to be a lot more complicated because we have a lot less options. So this is going to be ooh, it's gonna be very, very interesting. Okay, so what if we bring this out by 1 here and then we start doing maybe every 2? We do something, or no, it would be every 3, wouldn't it? I think it would be every 3. We do like a block there, something like that. Although no, it would be every 2, and then maybe we do a layer of 2 calcite there instead. Maybe something like that. Okay, so I put in some of the glass. Now, unlike my usual using the glass panes and the white stained glass panes, this one we're using the dark gray and the light gray. I guess it's technically just normal gray with the light gray instead, which I absolutely love. And what we're going to be putting behind it is a little bit different because it's not just going to be black concrete. But now I'm kind of looking at it and wondering, do we really want to put anything on the iron? Because I kind of don't know. Because like part of me really likes that the iron blocks there, it's kind of holding up the tower right here, kind of like it's the spine or the backbone, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I actually really like the way that looks. And okay, let's see what the actual tower looks like once we finish all 4 sides. Honestly, yeah, it's actually looking pretty decent. Now, what I want to do really quick is actually work on the inside of the windows. Now, we do have some black concrete that we're going to obviously use, but this time we're also going to be using something a little bit different. In fact, completely different in the fact that it's going to be glowstone and emitting light. And it's actually perfect that the sun is going down because the idea behind it is that I want it to look like, you know, these are kind of like dim and dark and like that part isn't lit up. I don't know why I like that, honestly. It like what would make more sense is if you had multiple windows, but like they look like different rooms instead of having one tower that only has 1 pair of lights on. But I kind of like that maybe that isn't like a window, like a traditional window like we're used to, but maybe like a way to signal when this post is in use or something like that. I don't know. What I do know, however, is that I really like that. And not just that, but the entire thing so far, like it looks a little bit weird, but someone in my comments recently actually said that weird is good. And at this point, I'm kind of fully embracing the weirdness because whilst it looks weird, I think it's actually like a good kind of weird, right? Because like, be honest, you've not seen something that looks like that before, have you? And actually, speaking of looks, let me quickly see how it looks from afar. I'm just going to temporarily land on the iron golem farm right here. And let's see how that looks. Okay, so it's very white. I mean, that's kind of the point. And even from the town over here, it still actually looks pretty decent. I would actually arguably say that it looks better from this side of the town. Who knows? But what I I do know is that we need to finish the top of the tower because it's looking a little bit weird right now and incomplete, and I just don't like that whatsoever. I actually went ahead and finished the second tower right here as well, so now we have both of these two here up to the point where we need to build the little roof right here. So I added some spots in the corner over here made of diorite, basically just doing a stair and then going into slabs here, because what I would like to do is actually do the roof design that I did for the castle on the Shenanigan, but using these blocks instead. And I want to make it a little bit more bigger, I think. So we're going to start off by doing this in each corner. And then I think we're going to go into the calcite here. And then we'll go a stair here. We're going to go one up again and do another stair, kind of something like that. And then in the middle here, we're going to use some of the pale oak, which I actually really like because it has a little bit of like a pink hue to it if you look at it, right? Like if you just look at it like this, it's slightly more pink than the rest. And I actually like that. Now, usually I go 2 blocks here and then I put a stair like this. But as you can see, I want to try doing it instead going 3 blocks here and then another stair. And then I think at this point, we're just going to do stairs kind of going straight up all the way to the top up here. Usually what I do is I top it off with some walls and fences, but I actually want to do a little bit of a tip like this using the trap doors. And this is the entire thing. And honestly, it actually really looks good. I'm not going to lie. Alrighty, I've also finished that tower right there. And honestly, it's looking really, really good. One thing that I learned that I actually really, really like is I love the pink hue that we were just talking about. I love how like you can kind of see it right there at the top, but like you have to like look for it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not something that's super noticeable. It's like when you actually look at it, you realize, huh, it's actually a different like hue. I really like this. So now for the challenging part, the wall. So we already have where we want it to go with the calcite here, and we do have a little bit of a pillar right there. And now the hard part is going to be to connect it, because what we could just do is like, you know, connect it all the way over there and call it a day, but that's going to be a bit boring. Now, one thing that I was thinking of doing is actually connecting it to each other, obviously, but then what I also want to do is on the mountains right here, and over on this side, we do kind of one of those arches where it's like kind of starting off like this and it goes like that, but like picture it going diagonal, right? So we're going to kind of have like a big wall here. By the time it gets to here or something like that, or maybe we'll go like here to be safe, then it's going to start to arch over into the other one, which will also do the same. We'll have like a pillar going into the ground right here, and then from here it'll arch into the other one over there, and that way we have 2 archways kind of connecting together. And again, I've never done something like this, and it's on a diagonal, and this is gonna be I don't know how well this is gonna be, but I'm actually very excited to try this out. With how good this is looking so far, I'm really excited. So now that they're connected, we need to start doing the archways in the middle here. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of map out on the bottom where I want it to go like towards. And I think we'll make it go to like here. And there we go. As you can see, the walls have been built up. And honestly, this is looking a lot better, honestly, like already. Even though we haven't done any of the detailing with like, I don't know if we're going to do iron blocks or the polished diorite yet. I don't really know. But it's still just looking a whole lot better, I think. Now, we have 2 things left that we really need to do for this. The first one is obviously the archways like I was talking about. And then the second one, like I was just saying, is the detailing with the polished diorite and maybe the iron bar or blocks. And I think I'm going to be doing the archways first, and then that way we can end off doing all of the detailing and whatnot. Okay, so here's the idea. I think we're gonna start off by going a little bit lower like this, I think, and then as we get like closer, we'll go like 1 up, I think. But now is that too low? I want it to be a little bit bigger, so yeah, we might go a little bit lower. Okay, yeah, you see, that's something more that I was thinking. I want something kind of like that. Yeah, that is exactly what I was thinking. Now, I think what I would like to do really quick is actually using the polished diorite stairs to do something like this. And then what if in the middle here we'll put the pale oak to get a little bit of that pink hue back? Okay, so I think it helps, but it needs a little bit more polished diorite. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is collect some polished diorite. I'm going to do a time lapse and quickly figure out what I want to do to make it look a little bit more detailed with the diorite and whatnot. And then hopefully by the time we come back, it'll be nice and finished and we can do the outro. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the finished bridge right here. Honestly, I kept it kind of simple, honestly. That time lapse might not have been as exciting as I was imagining, but honestly, I decided to keep it a little bit more simple because I wanted the towers to kind of stand out more than the bridge. So all that I really did was I added a small little trim right here with the polished diorite going up the top here as well. And then I added some iron blocks on the side here and a little iron block trim on the top as well. On the bottom, you have 2 lanterns right there, which I absolutely love. And then we also, as you can see, have lanterns going up here as well, which means we can actually get rid of these torches. And this is what it looks like when you walk on the little bridge thing here. And I honestly absolutely love this. You can see that we even have the lamp posts here. I actually really like what I did with the iron bars. I'm not a big fan of iron bars, honestly. Like, ever since we got the copper bars there, I find that these are just really boring. But I will say they do fit very nicely with this build here, which I actually really like. And then another thing that you can see here is we do have a pattern of, we start off with the lanterns being only 1 block tall, then 2 blocks tall for 2 layers, and then 3, and it's the same thing going around. Absolutely love that little touch by me. And that's gonna be it for today's video with an epic backdrop. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like and smashing that subscribe button. And if you really enjoyed, consider sharing this video with your friends and family. We're trying to get to 550 subs before the end of the year, and we are so close. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in the next episode of G1's Adventure.